Hi, everyone. I'm Matt Clark, research analyst for Money Markets, here with your weekly marijuana market update. Now, I do want to make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel. That way you get notified every time we post a new video. Got a lot of great features, including Ask Adam Anything, where I sit down with our chief investment strategist, Adam O'Dell, and ask him any question related to the market that you have. We also have Investing with Charles, where Green Zone Fortunes co-editor Charles Sizemore and myself sit down and talk about stocks and the economy, and we even compare stocks to give you the best investment advice. And we also have The Bull and the Bear. This is our weekly podcast where I sit down and show you the trends and analysis moving the market. All these series are available on our YouTube channel. Just make sure that you are subscribed and that you click that notification bell and get notified every time we post a new video. I do want to make sure you're also checking out our new premium investment service. It's actually not new, but our premium investment service, which is Green Zone Fortunes. This is where Adam, Charles, and myself work hard to give you the one best stock pick every month. Plus, you get access to tons of research and analysis and breakdowns, and you get all that. We'll put up a little thing up there. All that, less than a cup of coffee a day, give or take. So it's definitely worth your while to check it out. It's Green Zone Fortunes. I invite you to check that out. Now, today, for our marijuana market update, I'm going to talk about a recent study involving cannabis and COVID, and then I'm going to answer an email from a viewer. So first, we'll start with COVID because that's everyone's favorite topic. Now, cannabis investors might have gotten a bit too excited earlier this month when major media outlets flashed this headline right here. Now, they were excited, and they were because this headline cited a study by Oregon State University that was published in the Journal of Natural Products. Now, I do a lot of research, and the Journal of Natural Products is not familiar to me, so I don't really know a whole lot about it. I'm sure the name is pretty much a dead giveaway as to what it is. But interpretations of this Oregon State study were that scientists found that cannabis could actually stop or prevent COVID. A few days after January 10th, the public frenzy surrounding cannabis was immense. There were people lining up at their dispensaries or lining up to get their medical marijuana cards or buying CBD off the shelves, all sorts of things, all because headlines suggested that the study found that cannabis could prevent COVID. Now, even late night talk show host Jimmy Kimmel quipped, he said, "All this time we've been listening to the CDC, we should have been eating CBD." Funny as that may be, despite the major headlines, the public interpretation of this study did little to alter the downward trajectory of cannabis stocks. Now, I looked at the Money and Markets Cannabis Index, which is an equal-weighted index that looks at the performance of cannabis stocks with more than $1 million market cap to see if there's any real change to the cannabis stocks during this, hype. And to surprise, very little surprise rather, there wasn't. Since November, cannabis stocks have continued to push down and now sit about 21% lower than when they started exactly a year ago. So there was a slight, and I do mean very slight, uptick in stock prices around the time the study was released, but the uptrend was very short-lived. One of the main reasons is because the interpretations that the media and the general public had of the Oregon State studies were incorrect. The first thing that stands out here is that the study was conducted in what's called in vitro, which is Latin for in glass, as opposed to studies that are done in vivo, which is Latin for within the living. Basically, the tests were done in a petri dish and not in living subjects. And because cannabis remains federally illegal, in vivo research is very, very limited in terms of what research can be done with cannabis. So additionally, the study used CBGA and CBDA acids against COVID-19. Neither of those are very prevalent in retail cannabis. Essentially, smoking cannabis was not going to guard you against catching COVID-19. So you have the fact that the study was done in a petri dish and not in live subjects, and nor is there any intention of actually doing it in live subjects. And the acids that were used to test against COVID aren't ones that you find in cannabis that you would smoke. However, what the study did find, I found this interesting that kind of gets glossed over a little bit, is that acids in cannabis do have medical benefits. We've touted this for a long time, and experts have said the same thing, but this actually provides just an additional layer of support to say, hey, look, by the way, cannabis does have medical use. It also shines a light on the fact that we need additional in-depth research on the actual impacts of medical and adult use cannabis and how they can be effective. Now, I looked at a study from New Frontier Data, which is a cannabis data firm, and I found that from 1960 to 2010, the amount of medical research on cannabis was really very thin. In 2012, after Washington and Colorado became the first states to legalize adult use cannabis, research studies of cannabis jumped significantly. And then last year, in 2021, there were more than 3,600 different studies of cannabis being conducted. I think it's great But I think there's more that needs to be done here. We need to be looking at more than just, is this a smokable property? It's what are the medical benefits of medical cannabis and adult use cannabis? And what kind of far-reaching medical impacts does it have? Because that's going to be, at the end of the day, I think that's going to be one of the big things to really kick Congress in gear and to remove cannabis from a Schedule I substance. But it remains incredibly expensive to conduct human research with cannabis, as it remains that Schedule I substance with the federal government. But if that were to change, I can only imagine what research would find in relation to medical benefits of cannabis and its properties. Now, I want to answer a reader question before we cut out here. Todd emailed me at feedback@moneymarkets.com, and he said, "Hi, I've watched several of your YouTube videos and was hoping you could share your thoughts or analysis of Bioharvest Sciences. Seems like it could be a game changer in the marijuana industry. Thanks, Todd." Well, Todd, thank you for your question and for asking and for us using. My team's going to reach out to you and set you up with some free Money Markets gear, like a t-shirt, a hat, or a sweatshirt, something of that nature. So thank you for that. Now, Bioharvest Sciences, which trades over the counter, the ticker over the counter is CNVCF. No, it's kind of complicated. CNVCF. It's a Canadian-based company that produces nutraceutical superfruits. Let me say that one more time. Nutraceutical superfruits. And also cannabis. And they do this in Israel and other countries around the world. They have basically developed cell growth technology that produces the metabolites you would find in fruit or other plant properties without actually growing the plant. For example, their signature product is called Vinia. It's a pill that contains the essential properties found in red grapes. And these are all sorts of health properties that you can find in various fruits, vegetables, and the like. Basically, what they've done is they have taken away the need to grow something. They are just basically reproducing the basic nutrients of that something in a lab rather than growing the actual plant. Now, the company has targeted this year, 2022, as the year it's going to develop similar cell growth for cannabis. Last week, Bioharvest announced plans to build a production facility in Ontario to produce its cannabis products, specifically to the US and Canadian markets. In its most recent quarterly report, Biosciences reported a 17% quarter-over-quarter growth in sales of just Vinia alone. They don't sell anything else. This is it, Vinia. And a 485% year-over-year growth with total sales of $2.4 million, which is pretty remarkable considering they're basically only selling one product, and it's kind of a nutritional enhancement. Most notably, the company saw 71% growth in its total alone from the second quarter of 2021 to the fourth quarter. So in just 3 quarters, 71% sales growth, which is pretty remarkable. Its sales in the United States jumped 250% from the second quarter to the third, and another 27% from the third quarter to the fourth. The news, however, has done very little for the company's share price. If you look, Bioharvest reached a 52-week high of around 55 cents per share in February of 2021, but trended down until moving higher in July. Now, it traded somewhat flat until moving up in January of this year. Then it dropped significantly, about 41% off its value after one of its board members resigned, and that was made public. Now, really wasn't a big deal to have its board member resign, but when you have it and you're a very small company, it tends to get a lot of traction with traditional investors. The stock is now 52.7% off that 52-week high it set back in February. Now, Bioharvest doesn't rank on my cannabis rating system because it's basically too small of a company in terms of its market cap. It's not a very big company, and I only rate companies that have a certain market cap to make it kind of fair. So if I rated everything, it would be kind of skewed. So I don't rate very small companies, nor do I rate very new companies, because I want them to establish a track record to see what an honest rating would be. So there is no rating for me to share with you for Bioharvest, but in total, I like the potential of the company. To be able to construct the properties of cannabis without actually growing it could prove to be very revolutionary here. And I think Todd's got it right. It has the potential to be a game changer. However, there's a lot here that's unknown. And just like with the headlines of an Oregon State research report, we've got to kind of pare back a little bit and think about everything involved. We have to look at everything, not just glance over the executive summary. Right now, we really don't know the cost of the process to actually lab create cannabis without growing the plant. And the question is it cheaper to use Bioharvest process as opposed to actually growing crops? And we simply just don't know right now. The bottom line is it's going to be hard to realize the true potential of Bioharvest until we see some hard numbers related to that production cost. And I think we'll see that probably towards the end of 2022. If it does prove to be compatible or comparable rather, or even cheaper, then this is going to be big in the long run, without question. But I would say if you want to dedicate a little capital into Bioharvest, that might be plausible. I could see you doing that. But the continued uncertainty around the broader market, as well as cannabis specific, could see some additional losses before any gains are realized. This is going to be one of those where you want to probably buy into it if you want to buy into it, and then wait and sit on it. Don't worry about any short-term losses. You want to wait and see kind of what the full benefits are. You want to sit on this for probably a year, maybe even longer, to see what the full potential of Bioharvest is. And if it is, then maybe they could be subject for a buyout and you see a stock price jump. But if you're going to get in now when it's relatively inexpensive, you've got to be willing to sit and hold even through the potential losses. So that's my recommendation to you, if that's what you choose to do. It's got the potential to be a very good company that could really set the cannabis market on its ear. But I want to know a little bit more before dedicating a lot of capital into a large position. So right now, I think a small position is okay. Not betting the farm on this. You want to kind of keep it small to start. Maybe if you see a dip and maybe a little bit of an uptrend to show some momentum, maybe buy a little bit more. But for now, I keep the position relatively small until we see something more tangible in terms of the benefits of this new process. So thank you for your question, Todd. I hope that helped answer it. We're going to hook you up with some Money and Markets gear for sending in your question and for us using it. If anyone out there has any question about the cannabis stock or the broader cannabis market, I definitely encourage you to email me. My email address is feedback@moneyandmarkets.com. We'll put that right down below there. Or you can comment below here on YouTube as well. You can send us a question or a video of you asking your question, and if we use it, stitch it in, then you're going to get some free Money and Markets gear, just like Todd's going to, like t-shirts, hats, sweatshirts, all sorts of stuff. The boss is working tirelessly to get us more stuff because we've sent out a lot already. We're going to send out even more. So make sure you do that. Again, feedback@moneyandmarkets.com. Don't forget about all the great content we have here on our YouTube channel. It is the best investment insight and it is yours for free. Follow me on Twitter. I'm going to give you some insights, not just into the cannabis market, but the broader market. I also like to watch European football and American football as well. So I like to kind of tweet on that every once in a while. You can find me. My handle is Invest with Matt C. That's Invest with Matt C. That is on Twitter. Thank you to each and every one of you who watch our videos every week. The entire team. We do this because we want to bring you the best insights, not just into cannabis, but into broader investing, and to help you grow profits in your portfolio. Check out moneyandmarkets.com each and every day. We've got new content that provides safe, sound, smart, simple, profitable investment information just for you. I'm Matt Clark, research analyst for Money Markets and the host of the Marijuana Market Update. Until next time, everyone, safe trading.